Hey guys, this is Mark, and this is a message to the autistic husbands out there who have a neurotypical wife who has told you that she has Cassandra Syndrome. And here's why she has it. Here's 10 reasons. Lack of validation. Your NT wife may feel that her thoughts and feelings are often dismissed by you or not taken seriously. And of course, this leads to frustration and isolation for her. Number 2, disconnection from reality. Sometimes she might feel that her perception of situations is constantly undermined by you, which makes her question her own reality and her own sanity. The third reason your NT wife may have Cassandra Syndrome is emotional exhaustion. Constantly feeling unheard can lead to emotional burnout, which makes her feel drained and less capable of coping with just day-to-day stuff, let alone dealing with you. And by the way, this video is not meant to trash talk you. You have your own cross to bear as well. Number 4, communication barriers. If there's difficulties in having open, honest conversations about feelings and experiences, then it's going to exacerbate her feelings of neglect and feeling misunderstood. The 5th reason your NT wife may have Cassandra Syndrome is isolation. She might feel alone in her struggles, especially if friends and family don't understand what she's going through or if she feels she can't talk about it. Number 6, fear of judgment. Worrying that others will not understand her experiences or may judge her can prevent her from seeking support and speaking out. The 7th reason for Cassandra Syndrome is she feels unsupported. If she perceives that you're not supporting her during difficult times, it's going to deepen her feelings of loneliness and despair. Number 8 is increased sensitivity to criticism. Repeated invalidation coming from you can lead her to become more attuned to criticism, even when it's not intended by you. And this increases her feelings of inadequacy. Number 9 is past trauma. Previous experiences where her feelings were disregarded can lead to an ongoing pattern affecting her relationship with you. And lastly, number 10, seeking understanding. Ultimately, she may yearn for a deeper understanding and empathy that she feels is lacking in her relationship with you, which leads to her chronic feelings of distress. And that is Cassandra Syndrome. It's not uncommon for around this time of the progression of things for some NT wives to think that they're doing a lot of the work. So I would say if you would stop doing the work that you've been doing, and that's really kind of the point of this class, is you have been spinning your wheels too much and burned up a lot of time and energy and sanity, getting little to no cooperation, we will say. So if you will stop doing the work that you've been doing and just do this new work, your workload will actually decrease, not increase. And plus, as you practice the new work, which is your assignments, the stuff you've been journaling about, it will become a new habit if you're consistent with it over time, and that's going to run on autopilot. So the old habits that you had, and I know your heart was in the right place. You didn't know what you were dealing with back in the day. But if you will just do the new work that we're discussing, you're actually going to cut your workload. But a lot of times she says, well, if I engage in this healthy emotional detachment business, aren't I disconnecting emotionally and doing the same thing to him that he did to me? You're going to be the opposite of emotionally reciprocal now. You're going to be the one to keep the spouse at arm's length and like that. And you, being the nice lady that you are, and probably too nice sometimes, feel guilty. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I'm detaching from him emotionally. Am I now doing the same thing to him that he's doing to me? So just know that if you have, I'm not accusing you of being a little on the codependent side, but if you're a little on the codependent side, and if you tend to feel guilty that, oh, does this mean that I'm now losing respect for him or losing love for him or falling out of love with him? Or just know that that comes with the territory. It's not uncommon. In fact, I would go so far as to say, expect to feel some guilt when you start to detach from him. We went into great detail about the difference between healthy detachment versus unhealthy. Going in circles is part of going through it. So you can envision a bunch of circles moving this way. And so some days there's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. Some things you will never be able to let go of. Some things you will be able to let go of quickly. Some things you'll let go of completely and then they'll come back later on. So it's not linear. If you get to acceptance in the grief cycles, depending on circumstances and what kind of bad day you might be having, you may bounce back to anger. Sometimes you may bounce back to denial. Sometimes you may stay stuck in bargaining. So It's definitely not linear. And so just be prepared to get a full spectrum of this. I may go to my grave and never fully let go of this. Or this other thing that I think I would never be able to let go of. For some reason, something clicked and I finally have let go of it. I thought I was over this. Clearly, I'm not. I thought I wasn't over this. Clearly, I am. So it's just going to be kind of a mixed bag. But the big message here is there is no rush and there's no wrong way to do it as long as you're doing it. It being staying in some version of recovery, using some component of the recovery process. It could be something as simple as just staying in touch with the ladies on the Facebook group. It could be something as simple as, well, maybe I need to process it a little more. You go get your journal. And because a lot of times writing, I would strongly recommend that you write too rather than type. Sometimes writing stuff when you're not really sure, you have a bunch of question marks. Sometimes just going in and doing just a bunch of free writing where I'm not going to monitor my thoughts. I'm just going to kind of let the pen go. Sometimes you'll find answers just through the process of writing. There's no rush in letting go of resentment. In a nutshell, the antidote to letting go of resentment is forgiveness. And forgiveness is just this. I'm going to catch myself replaying the past hurts in my head. I'm going to catch myself flashing back to past hurtful memories. And then instead of ruminating about it and playing that whole damn movie again, I'm going to catch it and go, okay, yep, I remember this hurtful thing that happened last year. And I'm not going to entertain that thought. I'm not going to jump into my seat at the movie theater, get my bag of popcorn, and play that whole damn movie again. It's not. So letting go of this resentment is simply, I'm not going to replay those old hurtful memories. I'm not ignoring them. They're going to pop in my head. And what was done is not okay. So it's not getting him off the hook or making excuses for him. It's simply, forgiveness is simply, when the thoughts of past hurts enter my head, I'm not going to sit there and wallow in it and ruminate and go over the whole thing. So forgiveness is for you, nothing to do with him. Okay, so you're a husband with autism spectrum disorder and your wife has said, I have Cassandra Syndrome, and you don't know what it is. So here's what it is. It's all about this thing called emotional reciprocity. In the early going of your relationship, she would have said, yeah, we had give and take in conversation. We had affection. We did things together. I was important. He paid attention to me. But then over time, this emotional reciprocity waned. And then fast forward a few more years, and emotional reciprocity became virtually non-existent. And then she begged to get some emotional reciprocity, but it didn't happen. And so now she feels depreciated and deprived. That's Cassandra Syndrome in a nutshell. Cassandra Syndrome, while not a formally recognized medical diagnosis per se, often refers to the phenomenon where the individual feels that their insights or concerns about a situation, particularly regarding relationships or health, are not taken seriously by others, in this case, the ASD spouse. So here's a list of traits that are often associated with Cassandra Syndrome. And we'll put this in the context of the NT wife and the ASD husband, although the inverse can be true as well. Number one is heightened awareness. That would be acute perception of potential threats or issues. Number two, feeling misunderstood. This is a sense that others do not grasp the seriousness of your concerns. Number three, we'll call it predictive insight, and that's a tendency to foresee negative outcomes that your spouse may dismiss. Number four would be frustration. This is ongoing irritation or annoyance due to lack of acknowledgement of the issues by your spouse. Number five, isolation, feeling alone in one's perspectives and beliefs. Number six, vulnerability. This would be increased sensitivity to criticism. Number seven, emotional exhaustion. This is when you become drained by the need to assert your views and your concerns continually. Number eight, resilience. This is where you continue to advocate for yourself despite lack of cooperation from your spouse. Number nine, risk awareness. This is a strong focus on potential risks or dangers in the marriage. Number 10, trust issues. This is difficulty in trusting your spouse or trusting his perspectives due to previous negative experiences. Number 11 would be cynicism. This is where you have a more skeptical outlook on the behavior and motivations and actions of your spouse. Number 12 would be passionate communication. This is when you express your concerns with high emotional intensity. Number 13, difficulty in the marriage. This is where you struggle to maintain a connection in the marriage due to your spouse being highly dismissive of your concerns. Number 14, self-doubt. This is when you start to question your own perceptions and you start to question your own feelings. Number 15, repetitive arguments. This is when you frequently need to reiterate your points in order to feel like you're being heard. 16, emotional burden. This is carrying significant emotional weight from your feelings and concerns being unacknowledged. 17 is disillusionment. This is when you lose faith that your spouse is going to understand you or do anything to change. Number 18 is overthinking. This is analyzing situations repeatedly, wondering if your concerns are even valid. Number 19, need for validation. This is having a strong desire for acknowledgement and affirmation from your spouse. Number 20 would be intuition. This is when you rely heavily on gut feelings about situations in the marriage. 21 would be impatience. This is a lack of tolerance for your spouse who refuses to listen or understand. Number 22 would be seeking support. This is when you search for like-minded people who will validate your experiences. In other words, others who are going through emotional deprivation. 23 would be protectiveness. This is an instinctive desire to protect yourself from perceived emotional harm. 25, conflict prone. This is engaging in arguments or disagreements when your concerns are dismissed. And then lastly, advocacy. This is becoming an advocate for yourself because you have realized that your mental and physical health is in grave danger. So these traits capture the emotional and psychological dimensions that might accompany feeling unheard or dismissed. So let's look at some topics that you might consider journaling about if you're experiencing Cassandra Syndrome. We're going to look at, we have 15 of them here, and these are just some ideas. If you are suffering from Cassandra Syndrome, as you probably know, journaling is a big deal. So the first idea that could go in your journal would be understanding your feelings. Here you could explore your emotions regarding feeling unheard or dismissed. And the question to ask yourself might be, what specific situations bring these feelings to the surface? The second topic would be relationships. Here, I'd like for you to reflect on how Cassandra Syndrome affects your relationships with friends and family members and even co-workers. And the question you can ask yourself here is, are there patterns you notice? The third idea would be communication. Here you could journal about your communication style. And the question you can ask yourself here as you begin to journal would be, are there ways you feel you can express yourself more effectively? Another idea would be around validation. Here you can write about moments when you felt validated versus moments when you felt ignored. And the question here could be, how did these experiences impact you? And the fifth idea could be coping strategies. Here you might want to discuss strategies you use to cope with feeling unheard. And the question here could be, what works for you and what doesn't? Okay, let's look at self-advocacy. Here you would want to reflect on times when you advocated for yourself. And the questions to ask as journaling material would be, how did it feel to speak up and what was the outcome? Number 7 would be boundaries. Here you can explore your thoughts on boundaries in your relationship. And the question is, are there boundaries you'd like to set or adjust? Number 8 would be support systems. Here you can write about the support systems available to you. The question to ask would be, who can you talk to when you're feeling unheard or dismissed? Number 9, personal growth. Here you can reflect on how dealing with Cassandra Syndrome has shaped your personal growth. And the question is, what lessons have you learned? Number 10 would be future goals. Here, I'd like for you to think about your goals for communicating effectively in the future. And the question to ask yourself would be, what steps can I take to work toward these goals? Number 11 would be self-compassion. So here you're going to be journaling about practicing self-compassion. And the question to ask yourself and journal about would be, how can you be kinder to yourself in moments of frustration? Number 12, this idea is about exploring triggers. Here you'd want to identify specific situations or conversations that trigger feelings related to Cassandra Syndrome. And the question could be, how can you prepare for these in the future? Number 13, joyful moments. Here you can write about moments when you felt truly heard or appreciated and validated. And the question is, what made these experiences stand out? 14, expressing needs. Here you can reflect on how comfortable you feel expressing your needs. And the question is, what holds you back and how can you overcome it? And the 15th and final idea I'd like to suggest would be around gratitude. And here you'd want to focus on what you're grateful for in your life and relationships. And the question to ask yourself as a way to get the journaling started would be, how can gratitude shift your perspective? So these prompts can help you dive deeper into your feelings and experiences, which hopefully will facilitate self-reflection and personal growth. And personal growth and self-care is the big deal here. Hey, quick message to neurotypical wives out there who may be suffering from Cassandra Syndrome. Do you feel emotionally exhausted, lonely, confused, disconnected in your relationship? And have you found yourself wondering, why do I feel so alone even though I'm married? And how did I lose myself somewhere along the way? And will I ever feel like me again? Okay, if so, you're not alone. Most of the neurotypical partners I work with experience profound emotional deprivation that slowly erodes their sense of self, confidence, and hope. Here's the good news though. Recovery is possible. I've created a recovery program that's now available as a self-paced online course. Originally offered as a live group, this program has helped participants understand the emotional deprivation they've experienced, make sense of the confusion and self-doubt, and begin rebuilding their sense of identity and emotional strength. Now you can go through the same material from the privacy and comfort of your own home and move through it at the pace that works best for you. Now, whether you're just beginning to understand what you've been experiencing or you've been searching for answers for years, this course will help you begin the journey back to yourself. You don't have to continue surviving on emotional crumbs. You deserve clarity, support, and you deserve to understand what's happened to you. And most importantly, you deserve to recover. The version of you that existed before confusion, exhaustion, and self-doubt is still there, and this course was created to help you find that part of yourself again. Enroll today, won't you? You don't have to wait for the next live group. Your healing can begin now. The link will be in the description area underneath this video and also pinned in the comments section.